dream didn't end. It just changed rooms. Sand turned to dust. Dust turned to paper. Paper turned to stone. Adrian Phoenix opened his eyes. But he wasn't waking up. Not really. The torchlight flickered across carved walls, except now. It wasn't fire, it was electric, cold, fluorescent. The pyramid was gone. He stood inside a dig site. Deep in the jungles of Peru, catalog numbers, plastic tags, steel tables. But the walls hadn't changed. Same symbols, same pattern, same feeling like something watching from the other side of time. Adrian. His father's voice, grounded real. Dr. Phoenix stood across the chamber, brushing away centuries with careful hands. You seeing this repetition? Adrian didn't answer at first. He was already tracing it. 3 symbols over and over and over again. Above, flesh, power. He grabbed the tablet, began mapping structure against known roots, Proto-Andean. Pre-dynastic parallels. Something wasn't right. Dad. His voice dropped. These don't belong here. Dr. Phoenix looked up slow. What do you mean? Adrian swallowed. They're older than the site. And they're not isolated. He turned the screen, overlaying the pattern with fragments pulled from ancient flood texts. The match wasn't exact, but it was close enough to make your stomach turn. It's not a word-for-word translation, Adrian said. It's a concept. He stepped closer to the wall, hand resting against stone worn smooth by something that shouldn't have been there. Not here, not this far south, not this far back. They didn't name them. A long pause. They described them. Dr. Phoenix barely whispered. What do they say? Adrian exhaled slow, like he already knew he wasn't supposed to say it out loud. It says, the lights flickered, just once. Those who came from the sky. Another flicker, longer this time, and walked as giants. Silence hit hard, heavy. Like the room didn't want to hold the words. Dr. Phoenix shook his head. No, that's not possible. Adrian cut him off. It's not just here. He pulled up another overlay, alignment marks. Ancient structures across continents, separate civilizations, same memory. They called them different things. Adrian said quietly, but it always means the same thing. He turned back to the wall, eyes locked in now, like he was remembering instead of learning. Giants, a breath of the sky. The lights went out, not flickering, not failing, cut, gone. And for just a second, in the reflection of the black glass tablet, the symbols moved, not carved, watching.
Buried before Noah's flood. They tell us the world began after the waters fell, after the ark, after the rain stopped speaking. But what if that's not the beginning? What if that's just what survived? Long before the flood, before the sky broke open, there were builders, not kings, not slaves, giants. The ones they tried to erase, the ones the old stories whisper about. The Nephilim. They didn't just walk the earth, they understood it. Stone, sky, time itself. And when they saw what was coming, when the heavens began to tremble, they didn't run. They built, not a tomb, not a monument, an ark of knowledge. What we call the Great Pyramid was never meant to be seen. It was meant to survive. Sealed chambers, hidden alignments, precision beyond coincidence. A message waiting, a code sleeping. The Nephilim Codex, not written in ink, but in stone, in angles, in the bones of the earth itself. And when the flood came, it didn't destroy the truth. It buried it beneath sand, beneath time, beneath belief, waiting for someone curious enough to question the story and brave enough to read what was never meant to be found. Because history didn't begin after the flood. That's just where the story got easier to control.
Lecture 12, Autumn Term, May No Thing 36, The Nephilim, The Fallen, and the Giants of Stone. A dramatized professor-student exchange. Professor Harrington. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Do take your seats. Today we turn our attention to a subject that has perplexed scholars, theologians, and the occasional explorer with more courage than sense. The Nephilim, the so-called fallen ones, giants, if you prefer the more sensational term. Genesis gives us only a whisper, a mere 4 verses. But what a storm those verses have stirred.
Professor Harrington, sir, are these the same giants the newspapers keep printing stories about? Skeletons 12 feet tall and such.
Young Mr. Whitaker. Always ready with a headline, no, my boy. The newspapers are enthusiastic in their imagination. But the legends themselves, those are quite real and far older than any printing press.
In Genesis 6, we read of sons of God descending to take wives among mortals. The result, we are told, were mighty men of old, men of renown.
Some say these were the descendants of Seth. Others insist they were angels who broke rank. And then there is the Book of Enoch, a text so dramatic it could give Hollywood ideas for decades. In Enoch's telling, the Watchers fall from heaven, teach mankind forbidden arts, and sire children who grow into beings of immense size and appetite.
Sir, do you mean to say angels had families?
My dear boy, I am merely reporting what the ancients believed. Whether angels have domestic arrangements is a matter for theologians far braver than I.
What fascinates me is this. Every culture, from the Norse in their icy halls to the Greeks with their titans, to the tribes of the American West, speaks of giants. Not merely tall men, mind you, but beings who shaped mountains, who hurled boulders, who built monuments so vast that later generations could only shrug and say, well, giants must have done it.
Professor, is that why they call those old Greek walls Cyclopean? Because only a cyclops could lift the stones.
Precisely, Mr. Whitaker. When a wall is too large for the imagination supplies a larger builder.
Now let us turn to the stones themselves. Travelers in the Andes speak of walls fitted so tightly you cannot slip a razor blade between the blocks. In the Levant, dolmens and basalt tombs stand like the ribs of some ancient beast. And on cliff faces from the Sahara to the American Southwest, you find carvings, tall figures, elongated limbs, sometimes winged, sometimes horned, etched into the rock as though the stone itself remembered a time when the world was stranger.
Sir, do you believe any of it? The giants, I mean.
Believe, my dear boy, a professor does not believe. A professor observes. And what I observe is this: humanity has always sensed that it was not alone in its earliest dawn, whether those companions were giants, angels, or simply the shadows of our own imagination. That is the question that keeps scholars awake at night.
So what remains of the Nephilim? Not bones, not ruins labeled with their names, but stories that refuse to die, stories carved into stone, stories whispered in scripture, stories carried across oceans and centuries like embers that never quite go out. And perhaps that is the true legacy of the so-called fallen ones. Not their height, not their strength, but the way they make us wonder what walked beside us before history learned to write.
Time's up, class dismissed. And Mr. Whittaker, do try not to let the newspapers convince you a giant skeleton has been found in Kansas again.
No promises, sir.